Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Brothers. Using data frames in PySpark, filtering, aggregation, joining and save output. That's what we will discuss in this video. We have created a notebook here in Azure Synapse and we will be reading the data from two different files. One of them is a CSV file. If you go to the storage here, and it's called the Synapse storage, and we go to the containers here, and then in the containers, if you go to the input folder, we have CSV file there, and then we have Parquet file. So our goal is to read these two different files, perform some different operations in the notebook, and then finally write the data back to an output file. So if you take a look here in the edit, and you have customer ID, you have first name, last name, and Parquet file I cannot show you here, but it has a column ID and some other columns. So I will show you while we will develop this. So first of all, I'm building, once we have a Spark session and some other important function imported, then what we are going to do, we are going to build this path where our container name and storage is. So I call this as a base path. This is my variable, and I'm telling this is my Synapse container, this is my storage, and rest of the things will stay as is, as a full path. So this stays as is, this path will stay as is. This is my folder that we have already seen. So now CSV path, base path plus CSV file, so that's the complete path for the CSV file, and Parquet path is the base path plus the Parquet file name, so that will make it a full complete path for Parquet file. Now let's read a CSV file. How we will do that, we say df underscore CSV, this is our data frame underscore CSV, that's the name of our data frame, and we create this data frame by using spark.read option. So this function will be used to read the file, and we are telling yes, header is true because I have the header in this CSV, and the .csv, our file type is CSV, and where the file is existing is CSV underscore path, and if you remember, CSV path is equal to base path, this path where input folder, and then customer CSV. So this is the path I'm passing. Once I do that, then I'm just printing this CSV data, so you would know that how the CSV data would look like. Then what we are doing, we are saying df underscore CSV dot show. We want to see all the records which are imported from the CSV into the data frame, and then we can print our data frame by using a df underscore CSV dot show function here. So show is the function that we use to display the records. Same way we are reading the Parquet file, and see right there we have df Parquet, that's a new data frame I'm creating, spark.read Parquet, and the Parquet path, underscore path, that's a full path for our Parquet file. See right there, and then we have ID column is in the we have a column ID in the Parquet file, and I'm renaming to the customer ID. And this is one way you would know that how exactly do that, because I'm trying to show you different options as well. So in case you need to rename column, you will say with renamed, and then you say the actual column name, and then the new column name, so customer ID. Why I'm doing that, I'm using this column in the join. I could use the same one ID, but I just kind of show you one more option or function that we can use to rename the column. So with the column renamed is used to rename the column. While you read the file, you can also rename the column name, and then we say df Parquet.show, that will show us all the records from this data frame that we just read, this entire file in that data frame. Now filter CSV, okay, let me first execute this so I can show you those two files so you know the records, and then I will show you the other values. So here if I will take you, here is my CSV data, and you can see that we have customer ID, we have first name, last name, so we have ID 1 2 3 4, and we have names, and right there. Then we have Parquet file data, and you can see that we have customer ID, that the actual in the file the column name is called ID, but I renamed while I read into the data frame. And we have first name, last name, and salary, and you can see that some values are there, and this is ID, let's say 1 is also matching with this ID when I'm going to join. So I'm going to get the records for 1 2 3 or 4, so whatever match. So in this case we have 1 2 and we don't have 4, so we will be getting, when we join, we'll get only record for 1 2 and 3. Okay, and now Let's take a look on some other function that we can do that. Now we understand our data. We have CSV data and Parquet file data. And now if I want to filter the CSV records, so you see that I have CSV data 1, 2, 3, 4 ID, but let's say I just want to have only where I want to extract this data. So I can apply filter here. How I do that? So I'm creating a new data frame called df filtered and say df.csv. That's my original data frame that I created here, and then apply filter. So it's like a where clause, and where you send column customer ID greater than equal to 2, and then I can print this data frame. So once I run this, what's going to happen is going to take all the record from df_csv, then apply the where clause, and where customer ID is greater than 2 or equal to 2. So it's going to put all those records into this data frame df filter. Then we are printing this out by using show here. Let's take a look. Let me show you actually the execution of this. So if you see right there, filter data customer underscore ID greater than 2 or equal to 2. So you see that now we have seen all the records where customer ID is greater than or equal to 2. So it is true. It has eliminated the record 1. Now if I want to apply some aggregate function, I can do that as well. So here is I'm doing that. So I'm creating a new data frame df aggregate and the df_csv. That's my original data frame. Then I said group by f name, first name, and then I'm taking count. So that's a group by, in SQL, like we say group by name, or and then say count, and then we have at the end we say group by the same column. So here it is very simple. You say that we are creating a new data frame on the old data frame, group by on what, and then provide the aggregate function, whatever you want to do. Here we want to do count, and then I said df_aggregate.show. So now we are going to get first name and count. So if I will go right there output, so you can see that first name and count of that name. We know that there is only one occurrence of each record in this CSV, so there is only one count, right? So Amir is 1 time, Lisa is 1 time, and all that. If we would have more records, we could have actually, let's say in this case, see f name is multiple time in Parquet output, so we can change this a little bit and say instead of this df_csv, we could use the df_parquet. I'm going to copy this and then change. So now we are saying df_aggregate, create a data frame, and the df_parquet.group first name and count. Now when we run this one, we are going to get multiple records count because we have duplicate records in Parquet file. So see right there, and Raza is 5 times, Amir is 5 times, and Ali is 5 times. So you see right there, this was the records were duplicate, and that's how we can calculate the count of those. So different aggregate functions can be applied. Maybe we want to do some of salary and all those kind of things can be done as well by using aggregate function. You say group by, column name, and then whatever the aggregate function you want to apply. Now let's do a little bit more how we can be renaming column, and then we will be joining these two files. Remember that we have CSV file and we have Parquet file. So this is my CSV file right there, and then this is my Parquet file. And now I want to join them and write this output to some other folder. So here is our, I'm creating a new data frame called df_csv cleanup, and df.csv, that's my original data frame with column rename. So I'm renaming my columns because I have the same column names in both of the files. So if you see that I have a first name here in CSV, first name in here in Parquet, last name in L name, and the last name is so they are different names. Especially I'm concerned about the name, and that's what I want to change that. So but I change all of them, so just to kind of give you more visibility, so you can take a look like how to rename all those columns and all that. So here we said CSV clean and df CSV CSV with column rename. So I'm calling this the first name as the first name and underscore CSV. So it would know that now this data frame will contain all the columns from the df_csv, but f name will be renamed to the f name_csv. And in the df Parquet cleanup, what I'm doing is df_parquet with column renamed. I'm changing the f name to the f name_parquet. Then I'm changing L name to the L name Parquet. And then I'm changing salary to the salary underscore USD. So it's just a way to learn. So you see right there, L name. So we have all that. Now once I have these columns done and renaming done, and what I want to do, I want to join them. So I have two these data frames, and in this data frame I want to join them. So df underscore join, that's a new data frame. So df underscore CSV clean data frame, and then join with the df Parquet clean. So these two data frame we just created with the renames. That's we would like to join them on what on customer ID, how I want to do inner joiner. So in this this is how you can do left join, right join, and all those kind of things. And here is the column you will be providing. Now we are joining them on customer ID. Once the df join is ready, that's going to have join data from these two data frames, and depending upon the column and what type of the joins you have used. Then finally we can print this out, df join dot show, so to see the data, what data is output. And then now we can write this data to some folder, and here is output path. So we have the same Synapse container, same storage that I have showed you here right there. So remember that in the blob storage I have shown you guys this storage, and that's where our container is, and that's where I want to write this output in the input folder. So let's say in this case if I will just delete this one because I have already created this. So I want to write here in this folder. Okay, now if you see that I am this is the path. Also you can go here in the data, and if you see linked, you can see this container here as well. So you can see the container, you can see the all the folders and everything. I'm in the input folder. So you can also take a look from here and take a path wherever you want to write. Okay, great. Now here I want to write this to the input folder, and then and subfolder called join customer data, and then I've said df join dot coalesce. So if I will not use the coalesce, what's going to happen, I have multiple partitions for this df join. So it depends upon number of vcores. So if we have 4 partitions, let's say our data frame is divided into 4 partition, what's going to happen, it's going to create 4 different CSV files. So that's fine because when we read it back from this folder, it will read all of them together. So that's good thing because it reading them in parallel. But just to show you, I want to put that all together. So coalesce, what coalesce will do, it will put all those partitions together and make it one partition, and then we will write that partition to this path. So we are saying write dot mode overwrite option header true CSV output path. That's where the path is, above path, and then we can print that out. So I'm going to go ahead and execute the entire thing. So then we will go and take a look. So here it is. We can see that we have cleaned the join data CSV plus Parquet. So you can see that customer ID, first name CSV, last name, first name Parquet, and last name Parquet, and all those. So we have renamed them the way we wanted, and that's how we have them. And finally the written data is written to the CSV. If I go back here and go to the this input folder, then inside this join data, and here is the CSV file read. So you can take a look. If you click right there and go to edit, you can see that all the data from joined df data frame has been written to this CSV. So this is how you will be reading data, filtering, applying aggregation and joining them, and then finally writing to this storage as you like. I thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.